We continue our reading of Lest We Forget, a daily devotional by author George R. Knight. Today's reading, June 22, Adventism in the Time of War, Part 5. It is lawful to do good on the Sabbath, Matthew 12:12. So said Jesus in regard to acts of mercy on the Sabbath. That principle would eventually unlock the answer to the Adventist quandary over how to serve both God and an earthly government during times of war. Meanwhile, we should remember that no draft law existed in the United States until March 1863. Also, we should note that no nation at that time had non-combatant options for military service. A person in the military was automatically a combatant who would carry arms and kill when commanded to do so. The conscription law passed on March 3, 1863, let draftees find substitutes if they could pay a fee to use in procuring one. The Adventist Church aided its members to raise the fee, but July 4, 1864, saw a revision of the draft law stating that only those conscientiously opposed to bearing arms could be exempted by paying the fee. At that point, the recently established General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists went on record as being a non-combatant denomination. On August 3, the state of Michigan granted the new denomination non-combatant status. Other states soon followed. Then the church sent J.N. Andrews with letters from the various state governors to apply for non-combatant status from the federal government in Washington, D.C. Thus, it was that in September 1864, the United States government recognized Adventism as a non-combatant church. Theoretically, that meant that if its members did get drafted, they would not have to bear arms or kill enemies. But in practice, non-combatant draftees often met with opposition and threats. On a more positive note, by the end of the war, non-combatants can serve as medics, both on the battlefront and in hospitals. Adventists were happy with that arrangement since it freed them from taking the lives of others, and it was lawful to do good to others on the Sabbath. From that time forward, the non-combatant medic role became the standard for Seventh-day Adventist draftees. But the denomination still frowned on volunteer service. In fact, several volunteers during the later days of the Civil War were disfellowshipped, even though some, probably included Ellen White, weren't so sure that was the proper course. God leads his people not merely in things strictly spiritual, but also in their dealings with issues related specifically to this world. For his guidance in all things we can rejoice. This concludes our reading today of Lest We Forget.